Kong Skull Island is an action war monster movie directed by Jordan Vogt-Roberts and starring Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, John Goodman and Samuel L. freaking Jackson. And this movie takes place in the Monsterverse, this new shared cinematic universe that is about monsters, big giant monsters. And it started all with 2013's Godzilla. And now we got Kong Skull Island, which actually takes place before Godzilla. This movie is set in 1973, right after the end of the Vietnam War. John Goodman is the member of Monarch, an agency who is looking for monsters in the world, and they found an uncharted island through satellite images. And that island is Skull Island. And now he gathers a team of soldiers to help him and explore this island. And among this team there are Samuel L. Jackson as the leader of the group, Tom Hiddleston as an ex-SAS tracker, and Brie Larson as an anti-war photographer. And there are also some other characters in the cast, as well as John C. Reilly, who they find once they get to the island. He got stranded there during World War II, and he has been living there for over 30 years. But now it's time to go back. And while they're on the island, well, they find some very big monsters, including King Kong. And compared to other King Kong adaptations, this one is supposed to fight Godzilla. And since Godzilla is not a small monster, they made Kong huge. And they also say in the movie that he's still pretty young, so he will get even bigger later on. And it makes sense because his height is of over 30 meters, and boy, he is huge. And compared to the one of 2005's King Kong movie by Peter Jackson, in this movie he tends to walk a lot, because in the other one it was more like an actual gorilla, you know, going with the fists walking. In this one he actually stands up quite a lot, he's just strolling around the island. It's great, and I really like this movie, okay? This movie falls perfectly, in my opinion, into action blockbuster subgenre. You know, those movies that are just big, loud, but done actually pretty well, that only want to entertain you. This movie is not an emotional story. It's not like the 2005 King Kong, where you actually got time to know all the characters in the 3 hours runtime, which was a little bit excessive, I'm not gonna lie, a little bit excessive, but in this movie it's less than 2 hours long, the actual movie itself. So the movie gets straight to the point. In 25 minutes we are on the island, we see King Kong in all his glory, he destroys a bunch of helicopters, and now all the people are stranded and they have to find a way to get off the island. So the movie becomes a relentless action film with gorgeous cinematography. I mean, it takes a lot of influence from Vietnam War movies, and honestly I loved it. It looks amazing. It's one of the best looking blockbusters in recent memory, because there are just amazing shots. And the director himself, who is also going to direct the Metal Gear Solid movie, which honestly I'm really looking forward now. At first I was like, no, it's gonna be shit, but after having seen this movie by this director, I'm sure that he will do a great job, because he's been inspired also by video games, by anime, by other movies, and there are a lot of references. First of all, a lot of POV shots of just guns shooting that don't feel out of place and actually look pretty good. There is a lot of violence. There is a reference to Cannibal Holocaust by someone getting impaled. There are people getting their arms cut off. This movie is violent as hell, and I was surprised that it's PG-13. It pushes the limit quite a lot. The entire cast is good in itself. The acting is not just really a problem with the acting itself, because, for example, John C. Reilly, who plays the man who's stranded on the island, is the best character in the movie and also the funniest actor. Also, Samuel L. Jackson is pretty good, he has some motivations. John Goodman is pretty good as well. Brie Larson, she is fine. Tom Hiddleston just kind of acts through the movie. Yeah, it doesn't really do much in terms of actual character, but I was not expecting this movie to have a lot of character development. There isn't any. King Kong himself doesn't have a lot of character, honestly. And they only say that he is the god of the island, who pretty much defends it from other monsters, which is also similar to how Godzilla acted in the first Godzilla movie. In the 2014 movie, where he actually fights the two giant creatures, because he's trying to defend the world from them. And the same goes for King Kong, so it's gonna be fun to see those two battle together. And the movie itself is a lot of fun, there are a lot of action sequences, it has a relentless pace as I've already said, the music is great, both the original soundtrack and the actual songs from the era. The effects look pretty nice, there are a couple of scenes where the green screen was not convincing all that much, and there are a couple of creatures whose CGI did not look all that good honestly, but overall, this is just an enjoyable action blockbuster. If you like monster movies, you're going to enjoy this one. It has sharp editing, very vibrant pacing, decent acting for what it's worth, simple story, straightforward, nothing special, nothing memorable, but it tries something different with the monster genre instead of just remaking another time the original King Kong movie from 1933. They actually make something different, something new. Something more or less original, inspired by Vietnam movies, and it works. It works as a war movie, it works as a monster movie, and it works as an action movie. So, go check out Kong Skull Island, it's a ton of fun. But still guys, have you seen Kong Skull Island? Do you want to see it, and do you like these monster movies? And honestly, I'm not a big fan of them, but if they are enjoyable, I recommend them. So, thanks guys for watching, to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.